President Franklin Delano Roosevelt activated the 442nd Regimental Combat Team, a segregated Japanese-American unit, on February 1, 1943. In doing so, he stated, "Americanism is a matter of the mind and heart. Americanism is not, and never was, a matter of race or ancestry." This was in stark contrast to his signature on EO 9066, less than a year earlier, when racism against Japanese Americans was rampant immediately following Pearl Harbor. But Japanese Americans themselves were outraged at the attack on their country. Despite the growing racism against them, many Japanese Americans answered the call to war. The 442 motto was "Go for broke," a phrase that meant putting everything on the line. With the establishment of the 442, many Japanese Americans signed up to join. Nisei, or second-generation Japanese Americans, who were incarcerated at one of the internment camps, were able to volunteer for the 442 and leave camp. The U.S. government required that all incarcerates answer a loyalty questionnaire. Question 27 of the questionnaire asked eligible males, "Are you willing to serve in the armed forces of the United States on combat duty, wherever ordered?" And question 28 asked, "Will you swear unqualified allegiance to the United States of America and faithfully defend the United States from any or all attack by foreign or domestic forces, and forswear any form of allegiance or obedience to the Japanese Emperor or any other foreign government, power, or organization?" Kiyoshi Muranaga enlisted at the Granada Relocation Center, or Camp Amache as it was known, in Granada, Colorado, where he was an incarcerate. From May 1943 to April 1944, the men of the 442 trained for combat. On April 22, 1944, the unit left Camp Shelby in Mississippi on their journey to Europe for their first overseas assignment. They arrived in Italy in June 1944. On June 26, 1944, Private First Class Kiyoshi Muranaga in the village of Belvedere near Suvereto, Italy, in an attempt to destroy an enemy artillery gun.
That's when 442 was all going gung-ho. This is the story I get. And they pushed too far, and they had to retreat. So he stayed behind and with his mortar, and then he was holding off the Germans so that the people could retreat. Then he got a direct hit.
Because of the accuracy of Private First Class Muranaga's previous shells, the enemy soldiers decided not to risk further exposure and immediately abandoned their positions. For his actions, he was posthumously awarded the Army's second highest decoration, the Distinguished Service Cross. A 1990s review of service records for Asian Americans who received the Distinguished Service Cross during World War II led to Muranaga's award being upgraded to the Medal of Honor. In a ceremony at the White House on June 21, 2000, his surviving family was presented with his Medal of Honor by President Bill Clinton. Today, the 442nd is remembered as the most decorated unit for its size and length of service in the history of the United States military. The unit, which was about 18,000 men, received over 4,000 Purple Hearts, 4,000 Bronze Stars, 560 Silver Star Medals, 21 Medals of Honor, and 7 Presidential Unit citations. In 2010, the unit awarded all members of the 442nd the Congressional Gold Medal for their heroic service in World War II. In all, 4 incarcerates who volunteered to go to war: William Nakamura, incarcerated at Minidoka; Joe Nishimoto, incarcerated at Jerome; and James Okubo, incarcerated at Tule Lake, along with Kiyoshi Muranaga, were awarded the Medal of Honor. After having lost their freedom based on their heritage, 3 of these men lost their lives in battle, fighting for the country that incarcerated them.
As sons set off to war, so many mothers and fathers told them, live if you can, die if you must, but fight always with honor and never ever bring shame on your family or your country. Rarely has a nation been so well served by a people it had so ill-treated.